We tend to think of professions as something set in stone, that they have always existed and will always exist. Yet, in reality, society has constantly shifting needs that result in professions coming and going over time, especially now in the digital age. Here are some professions that were once crucial, but that are now dwindling or downright extinct. Number 1. Fixed footwear. The move from handmade, artisan shoes to mass-produced industrial footwear has been going on for quite some time, but now it's gone so far that it's almost impossible to find cobblers. Everybody used to have the local cobbler they would go to in times of need, but nowadays, you either send your tarnished boots back to the factory, or you just throw them in the trash and get a new pair. Number 2. They don't make them like they used to. The hard truth about the decline in sewing machine technicians is that it has to do with the machines themselves, which just aren't made to last anymore. My mom has had her Zinger for almost 40 years after multiple repairs. When I took my fancy new machine to get serviced, the technician told me it would be cheaper to buy a new one. Number 3. Press for time. While they may indeed be decreasing in numbers, I can't help but feel that printing press repairmen were always relatively few and far between. I've certainly never needed to employ one, and I'm sure that the average person is just like me. Heck, I wouldn't be surprised if some people didn't even know they existed. To be honest, I wasn't even totally sure that such a profession existed until about 5 minutes ago. Number 4. Video killed the radio star? I'm pretty convinced that the only thing keeping radio alive these days is long car journeys. Driving is the only time that anyone I know listens to the radio. The automobile industry can pretty much be held responsible for propping up broadcasts. It's gotten to the point that radio shows need to be filmed and aired on social media in order to be listened to. Number 5. Picture perfect. Whoa, no need to get all condescending, buddy. We understand that we are in the midst of a very long transition from film to digital, but that doesn't mean that you need to cancel an entire group of people. This is their career we're talking about. Maybe even their identity. Photo lab technicians, it's okay, you can keep working. For now. Number 6, no hope for Italy. There is no doubt that most of us tend to buy most of our things the regular way, supermarkets, shopping malls, the odd special store. It only makes sense that the demand for artisan products has gone down, but this creates a sorry state of affairs for the artists and creators themselves. Number 7. Do you have the time? A few months ago, I went to get my watch fixed in a shop I noticed down the street. It was a tiny hole in the wall, occupied only by one old man with a white beard. He fixed my watch. A few months later, I wanted another watch fixed, and I came back to the store, but it had been shut down. So, yeah, I agree with this person that watchmaking is a dwindling profession. Number 8. There's bound to be a way. It sounds like this person is speaking from painful personal experience. Well, he also said that he always dreamed of being a bookbinder. That's so specific, isn't it? It's too bad, though. I can't imagine aspiring to be something only to have that dream ripped from you by the cruel hand of time. It's not at all like how I wanted to be a professional baller dancer, but was told that I just don't have it in me. Number 9, knock knock. Who's there? Not a salesman. While there is something romantic about the idea of someone knocking on doors to sell their wares, I watched Death of a Salesman too many times to be particularly heartbroken about the end of that area. Now, we just have internet pop-ups knocking on the doors of our favorite articles. Number 10. A dying craft. A lot of beautiful things that once existed no longer do today, but at least this development isn't leaving anyone jobless. While the craft itself may have died, the people who make money from it have just advanced into a new era. And I've never seen any old-school drafting anyway, I'll have to take your word for it. Number 11. Not quite dead yet. I know for a fact there is at least one mobile knife sharpener still driving around and doing his thing. I saw him on TikTok, and I think his name is Dave. He used to be a butcher, but then he got passionate about sharpening knives, and now he has this cool truck. I also know that tailors are a thing, because I need to use their services more often than I would have liked. Number 12. Back to school. Talk about losing its prestige. Teachers must be one of the most undervalued and underpaid professions out there. I mean, I'm not some great proponent of the school system as it is, but these are the people who are raising and educating our kids. We really need to give them a bit more respect if we don't want our kids' education to go down the drain. Number 13. No news, good news. This one really is quite sad because I think it says more about us consumers than the profession. I admit it. I get most of my news from social media these days. Am I proud of it?
No.
But that's just the way it is today, and I know I can't be the only one. Our collective attention span has shrunk to the size of a peanut, and only some flashy video editing can hold on to it. Number 14. The Last Projectionist. I wouldn't say dead, so much is very, very dead. There may be one movie theater projectionist left out there. I'm sure the Last Projectionist is living in the attic of an abandoned movie theater in some desolate town, screening films every night to an audience of himself and the rats. Number 15. Face-to-face interactions. It's not only the desk attendants who seem to have disappeared. What about the phone attendants? I'm not sure why, but I'm pretty sure that airline companies now exclusively hire robots to run their online chat. Heck, maybe even the CEOs are robots now. Maybe even the flight attendants are just holograms? Number 16. Realtors. I wasn't aware that realtors are on their way out, but this person sounds like they have a very personal vendetta against them. I wonder what realtors did to them to inspire such deep hatred. I can only imagine, but if it does come down to all-out war, I'll be on your side with my keyboard. Number 17. Robot wars. To be honest, I didn't know that a machinist was a profession. I thought it was just the name of a movie with Christian Bale. I also didn't know what CNC is, so I checked. It's when machines make other machine. So yes, the time when robots replace us completely is not far off. I knew it wouldn't stop at the airlines. Number 18. Heartbreak Hotel. A lot of these losses have pros and cons. It really is great that people now have much greater access to information and curate their own experiences. On the other hand, think of the poor concierges. They're probably all gathered together in some secret underground bunker with their fancy jackets, just waiting for the apocalypse. Number 19. Just there for small talk. This is a profession that probably should have gone extinct quite a while ago. It's a wonder to me that parking lots didn't go fully automatic at least 10 years ago. Not that I'm complaining. It's certainly nice to have someone say hello, goodbye, thank you, how's the missus every once in a while. It can get lonely out here. Number 20. Assistant to the regional manager. Okay, we know this person is referencing The Office and Michael Scott. But they're not wrong. Paper companies, as well as regional managers of small anything company, might not be around much longer because there may be no more small companies. It's all multinationals and conglomerates making the paper these days. Number 21. Weld your troubles away. Kids don't want to be welders? I'm shocked. Surely this is a problem that we can easily rectify. Welding has got to be just about one of the coolest professions around. You get to wear a cool mask and also play with fire. And if the pay's good too, all the welding industry needs is a couple of good marketing videos. Number 22. Financial futures. All of this talk of automation is getting me thinking. Is it really so bad if a lot of our professions become superfluous? Maybe soon every human profession will be automated, and then we can all just relax all day on the beach. Oh, but then what happens with money? Any ideas, guys? Number 23. An unflexible situation. The real problem here is that my fridge is looking really bare. It used to be filled with the phone numbers of all sorts of repairmen who would drop their magnets at the door. Then, you would always know who to call if your toaster, toilet, or fridge stopped working. Now it's anyone's guess, and my fridge is just plain white. Number 24. Self-service. It's undeniable that self-service checkouts provide a nice level of comfort and ease, and an opportunity to shoplift for my nephew Tom, who's now in juvenile detention. However, it just leaves supermarkets looking and feeling just a little bit sadder. Tom has had to learn that the hard way. Number 25. Carpeted floors are a thing of the past. Another profession of whose existence I wasn't aware, but of course, I can see the need for it. In fact, without a little more information, I'm not sure why it would be going downhill. As far as I'm aware, people still like carpets, and someone needs to install them. Surely, it can't be the robot thing again? Number 26. We can function without them. This person makes a good point. Function halls are becoming pretty outdated. More and more people are choosing to throw weddings and other events at outdoor places like gardens or barns, or fancy hotels rather than a function hall. And the COVID pandemic sure didn't help with that trend. Function halls are becoming a thing of the 80s and 90s if you think about it. Number 27. Keep your bees. To tell you the truth, we've never given much thought to beekeeping one way or another. There are so many professions out there that are essential, but we're hardly aware they even exist. Still, some people need to be out there doing these jobs. We're not sure about beekeeping. This person says it's becoming obsolete and that young people aren't interested in it as a profession. It's probably a more attractive profession in some areas of the country than in others. And we hear the salary is pretty good. Number 28. Funeral costs. This may be somewhat of a controversial opinion, but this person thinks the funeral business may be a dying profession. According to them, due to the rising costs of funerals, more and more people opt out of having a traditional burial service. We don't know whether or not they have a point. Time will tell. It's honestly not something we like to think about too much, not our own funeral and not that of our loved ones. It's pretty morbid stuff.